Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is having a beautiful day. So today's video, I am filming it a little bit later than usual. I thought to just grab a glass of wine and chat with you guys about all the luxury things that I've bought that I would not recommend. Some of these items I still have, others I ended up selling them, but I just want to talk about all of those things that haven't really worked out for me, that I maybe fell for the hype or that they worked out for me at some point, but they no longer work for me and I would not recommend anyone to get them. But I also wanted to offer alternatives that I think would probably work out best. And don't get me wrong, some of these things are beautiful. Some of these things I saved and I wanted for so many years, and maybe these things work out for many people, even most people, and just not me. So this is just my personal experience with these things. I am in no way saying that anyone should get rid of these things or that they're bad, but that is not the case at all. I've always said that if something works out for you and you enjoy it and it makes you happy, then that's about it. With that said, I do feel like in the luxury space, very specifically the YouTube community or Instagram or TikTok, we often don't share the things that don't work out or the negative things about items that are from certain brands like Hermès, Chanel, Loro Piana, etc. And I wanted to do that today. So these are the 10 luxury items that I've bought, I've tried, and I would not recommend. And the first one is right here with me. These are the Hermès Avalon pillows, and these two were something that I wanted for so many years. I always said that the day that I moved here, the day that I had like my dream apartment and I was starting to buy furniture, I was going to get the Hermès Avalon blanket and the pillows. So when we finally moved here to Barcelona, it was literally one of the first things that I went running to try to find at the Hermès store. And I had a really hard time finding specifically the color that I wanted, so I held off from the blanket for a really long time. So I ended up finding these two from a pre-love site that is called BAM Luxury Store here in Barcelona. They have a ton of different luxury items I would definitely recommend. So I got them for half the price, which I think it makes it a little bit better. So when I got them, I was so excited. But for some reason, I never ended up getting the blanket because it just didn't feel right. Every single time that I was about to spend the money on it, I was like, maybe I don't need it. And honestly, I'm so happy that I didn't. And I mean, I love these pillows for years now and they're still here in my sofa in my living room. However, I do feel like my style has changed, especially when it comes to home decor and also the way that I dress. And getting something that basically has a big H on it is not right there on the top of the things that I would want in my living room. If you ask me now, I would 100% prefer maybe finding some vintage pillows, something handmade, a beautiful floral pattern. I don't know, I've been on this journey for like intricate vintagey stuff. So I've been considering putting these ones maybe on the bedroom or in the office and finding something maybe a little bit more special for the living room because I just don't feel like they fit the style that I want for my house anymore. I've also been very much into seasonal home decor. So every single time that Christmas comes, I just want to swap them out for something more holiday-y, also when it comes to fall and spring, and they're just the same all the time. And for the rest of the pillows that I have in my house, except for the bed, I tend to change them. So yeah, I've been thinking of either letting them go, putting them somewhere else in the house that is not in the sofa. And it feels a bit sad for me because I feel like I attach to these pillows a lot of like accomplishment and purpose, and every single time that I look at them, I still think I did it. I'm here, I also got them. So I love them, I like them. We also just got a new puppy, so I'm a little bit concerned that he's going to destroy them. So what would I recommend instead? Honestly, I've been really loving Zara Home lately every single time that I pass by because the store is in Paseo de Gracia. They have really beautiful pillows, and I think I like the idea of changing the look every once in a while. So I'm gonna add a few of the pillows that they have in stock right now that I've been really liking. I know the price point is completely different, but honestly right now I don't think I would get any expensive pillows because I have two dogs at home. We have a puppy and I just want more carefree but also different things. So yeah, I would have never thought that I would be saying this, but I don't think I recommend them anymore. On a very similar note, I'm gonna talk about ready to wear, but more specifically branded ready to wear. And I've fallen for this one more than once, and till this day I still struggle to steer away from branded clothing because I like it. To be honest, I like it, but I find them so difficult to rewear. And to give you a very specific example, a few years ago I bought this Dior oblique set. I loved it. I was obsessed with Dior for so many years, very specifically with the gray oblique. The problem is that they're really hard to style, and it's not something that you can rewear that many times. Like for me, when I'm buying a ready-to-wear piece, I want to be able to wear it 2 times a week if I want. And with that said, it was very difficult because it's very in your face. Also, dry cleaning, so expensive, so you're always a little bit worried that you're gonna stain it. Also, being very eye-catchy, it just makes me feel a little bit uneasy now. There's honestly so many times that you can wear it without people thinking that you just wear that because it's so noticeable. So I think that one for me was the biggest one. I ended up letting it go. I sold it because the cost per wear started to become really, really high for me because I was just having it in my closet. And to put it into contrast with this dress that I got from Chloe last June, that was actually not that long ago. I've worn that dress so many times now that I feel like it was just perfect investment for my closet. But I feel like that dress just represents me and my style in a perfect way, and I can always find an occasion to wear the dress. I always want to wear it, and I also feel like it can be casual and it can be dressy. It just works out for me. So I'm not saying that ready to wear is not something that I think you should or shouldn't invest in. I just say that you should be 100% sure that it's your style and the amount of times that you're gonna be able to wear it. And when it comes to me, if it has logos, especially monogram or just let's say Prada on front, I don't think I'm gonna be wearing it that much. So in this case, I would just recommend you to think very carefully and find at least 5 different occasions where you would wear that. There's definitely so many amazing brands that offer the same quality but for a better price point than Dior. Unless you're really stuck onto the design, then I would highly recommend Tote. That is a brand that I adore. But yeah, don't fall for the logos and the trends. That's definitely what I sometimes do. So I've been really trying to think before I buy a ready-to-wear piece. How many times am I going to be able to wear this, and if I will regret it in 5 years time? Because if I add something to my closet, I want that something to last me a decade. Number 3 is kind of new to me as a realization, and it's going to be designer expensive luggage, especially the one that you check in. The ones that scream there's expensive stuff inside, I would steer away from them. And this is coming from someone that loves and adores Remova. I'm gonna talk about all of the pros of owning Remova because honestly I've had mine for years and years, and I'm someone that travels alone, and I'm also someone that travels a lot. And I've had different types of luggages, and so far Remova has been my favorite. Doesn't matter how heavy it is, it's just going to roll so easy. It never breaks. I remember once that I was traveling here to Europe, and when I arrived, my luggage had 3 wheels missing and I was on a layover. I still needed to drag that thing to the next flight and then all the way to the hotel, buy a new one. And it was not even cheap luggage, but yeah, I've had a lot of accidents when it comes to luggage, and so far Remova has been amazing quality wise, and the moment that you have a problem, they do fix it and the service is really good. However, every single time that I check in, I am worried that it's very obvious that it's an expensive piece of luggage, calls out for attention, and that maybe they're gonna open it and steal anything that I have inside. So I always try to avoid putting anything valuable inside of my luggage because I'm scared that they're gonna open it. So if they do, you're only going to be able to find my clothing. And when it comes to shoes, I put there the very normal ones. Anything that I consider to be valuable to me goes in my carry-on. But still, you do have the fact that the moment that you leave the airport with expensive luggage, you kind of become a target. So that is what I've been really considering a lot lately, and I've just been thinking that I should find alternatives. So luggage that does work and perform very similar to Remova, but that doesn't scream expensive. So the must-haves for me when it comes to luggage, they need to be strong and hold on to all the process of traveling for sure, but they need to glide, because if I'm carrying 2 check-ins and a carry-on with a little bag on top and there's little bumps and things, I need them to be easy to transport if I am alone. So I looked for some alternatives, but mind you, these are not ones that I have tried before. I've heard that Briggs and Riley are incredibly durable. They also have a lifetime warranty and they have a very understated design. Samsonite, I also think it's great, and they do have the premium line. I think I'm gonna look a little bit more into Samsonite and Tumi. I've tried Tumi before. I've always kind of preferred Remova a little bit, but I haven't really tried the equivalent of the Remova ones that I have in Tumi, so maybe that's a factor to consider. And there's this Australian brand that is called July Luggage. A lot of people recommended those, so I would also consider checking them out. Number 4, and I cannot believe that I'm saying this, but the Dior book tote. I think I've had enough time and I've tried it enough times to tell you guys that it just doesn't work out for me. And it's so painful to say because I think it's one of the most beautiful totes out there. I would actually say that it's the most beautiful tote out there. I love the fact that it comes in so many different prints and colors. I tried it in the larger size, in the navy oblique, and then I tried it in the toile de jour in the smaller size, just because when the bigger one didn't work out, I was dead set that I wanted that bag because I love the way that it looked. Anyone that knows me knows that if I can find something in toile de jour, I'm gonna get it. I have pillows, I have blankets, I have twillies. I really love it. So when the bigger one didn't work out for me because it was just a very bulky bag, there were other cons that I was just trying to ignore. So I thought maybe if I change the size and I change it for a print that I like more, it's going to be better. It wasn't. I still had the same issues with the bag, but I held on for so long because I just thought that it was so pretty that it was worth to try it out again. And I think a few years ago I would definitely recommend it, but I don't think I would anymore because now I found bags that adapt better to my lifestyle, and no matter the looks, just like functionality, how comfortable, the fact that I travel, the fact that I go to the beach, and that I'm not as careful as I would like. And the thing is that the book tote is so delicate. It's not the easy throw in your car tote that I thought that it was. It has this beach bag look, summer bag, but you actually cannot put it on the floor. I would not really take it to the beach because you're putting lotion, you're putting it on the sand, maybe it's not the cleanest table, you're sweating, maybe there's makeup. It was just a bag that I was constantly worried about, and also you cannot really put it on the shoulder with it being super comfortable because it's a boxy bag. So all in all, it was just not working out for me. And then if you consider the travel aspect, it's not a bag that you can really put under the seat. You also cannot really put it on the overhead compartment. You cannot fold the handles unless you really don't care, but I did care a lot and I didn't really want to do it. So if you're not using it as the travel bag, you also cannot put it inside of your luggage. So yeah, all in all, it was just a very pretty, stunning bag that was so inconvenient to use. So the alternative that I would like to give to the book tote, it's for example this Sandro tote, this beautiful striped one. It's very understated, very practical, way more affordable than the book tote. But I would say this to someone that is just looking for the vibe of the book tote, that it's like a big bag, that it's going to fit a lot, it has this summery look. But if you're really aiming for the design, then yeah, there's nothing really out there like the book tote. In number 5, I'm gonna put the Micro Lady DJoy, or any bag that doesn't really fit a phone. And the thing for me is that usually these mini bags are so cute, and they tend to come in like more fun patterns, maybe crystals, maybe velvet, and you're more tempted to get them. You can go a bit crazier with it, and because they're smaller bags, I kind of justify myself a lot because I use them a lot. And that's really the reason why I bought that Micro DJoy. It was my birthday and I was looking for a crystal bag. When I saw it, I fell in love with it. I don't plan to sell it. However, I do have to say that it's the most inconvenient. It doesn't really fit much and it does have the little flap. The only reason why I love it so much is because it's so pretty and because it is a good, like, I'm gonna put some credit cards, lipstick, my keys, and that's it. But my phone ends up being in my husband's pocket because women's clothing don't always have pockets, which is something that annoys me endlessly. And it's my dinner, night out, cute, fun bag. So the fact that it doesn't fit a phone is inconvenient for sure. Yeah, as I said, I don't plan to sell it because I love the bag, but I don't think I would recommend it as a everyday bag. But I understand getting it if you find it in like a very special pattern or color or just crystals like me. But if you want a mini bag, then I would recommend for something that is going to be a bag that can go from day to night, that is going to fit your phone and basically everything that you may need, at least the essentials. And a good example for this is going to be the Chanel Mini. I'm personally a big fan of the Chanel Mini in the square, but you can also go for the rectangle. And lately, if you go on the pre-love market, you're gonna find it for really good prices. I think it's good and bad at the same time that the Chanel resale value has dipped, but it's a great time to buy a mini in case you want. I've also never been a fan of Chanel Caviar, and if you go for bags in lambskin, that, mind you, this bag I have it since 2019 in lambskin, and it's one of my most used bags of this year so far, and it looks perfect. But this is a bag that fits my phone, even my little vlogging camera, my wallet, my keys, my lip gloss, and it's super small. And if you get it in a neutral color in white or black, it's definitely a night out bag that you don't have to worry much about it. You can use it crossbody, and I've hacked a way to use it as a shoulder bag. So you just cross it like this, you close it, and there you have a very comfy and stunning bag on shoulder length that looks really cute with night out outfits. I know that I'm suggesting a Chanel Mini instead of a Dior bag, and Chanel is a bit more expensive, but I do feel like you get more out of this bag than the DJoy, especially in the size that I have it, that is in the micro. I would not recommend anyone to get any suede shoes in a light color, and I think this is a no-brainer, but I think I had to learn it myself in the hard way, and I really wanted to get the Loro Piana summer walk charms, and I did. I even had them custom made, so I picked this color myself, and I'm actually a little bit embarrassed to show you guys in detail how stained they are and how much I regret getting them in this color. I'm gonna tell you what happened to them, but these are really silly things that can happen like on a day-to-day. So first few stains that I got on these shoes were by walking on the street. I walk a lot. I'm also a short person, so I'm kind of used to people sometimes, especially when they're walking on their phones, that they step on you, especially on the back. So the first few stains that I got on these ones were because someone literally just stepped on the back and there was a black mark. I tried to remove it in the most thoughtful way possible, however, very light suede. Now this was Polo. We were eating close to the marina here in Barcelona, some seafood, and I was wearing these shoes. Under the table, mind you. Polo was having a lobster, and when he was opening one of the lobster claws, just a little bit of lobster sauce landed directly on the shoe, and that never went away. If anything, I could just try to blend it out. I really tried to clean it. I took them to Loro Piana, and they said that there was not much to be done. So I think I'm just gonna take them to the cobbler and ask them to dye them a darker shade of brown. And these things that happened are just life, silly things. It's not like I'm going to avoid using this every time that I go for lunch just because something might spill on them. I just learned my lesson. No more light suede shoes. However, I do have to say these ones are also suede, and I got them last year and I used them a ton just because the color is darker. You can even see the scuffs on the shoes, like they're definitely worn, but there is no stain in sight. The only bad thing I would say is that these are mainly just fall and winter shoes, but they're super comfy, but they're squeaky clean. And this is because, yes, there's suede too, but the color is a smarter color to own when it comes to suede shoes. Designer logo belts, and this one I also learned it in the hard way. I had the Hermès belt, the one with the big H. I had the Gucci Marmont. I had actually two of them. I also had a Louis Vuitton one, and each and every single one of them I sold. When the Celine one was super popular, I wanted the Celine belt. It's just that I always get them in the height of the trend. And yeah, when you think about it, a belt can make the outfit completely, especially when it has a logo like that. But at the same time, as fast as it can come, it can also go. And I just realized slowly with each and every single one of them that it was a bit much for me, and that I was just not using them, that I was actually avoiding using them. So I ended up selling them. And the only designer belt, because I have many belts, for example from Pollen, that I love, but I do have one belt that I've kept and I think it's amazing, I can recommend, and that is the Hermès Kelly belt. This one is amazing because first of all it's super thin and it's also adjustable, so you can wear this with blazers, jeans, with dresses, even with coats. It's also quite understated. Like if you know the brand, you know the brand, but if not, it's just a regular belt. And I really love the fact that it's just adjustable. You don't really need the hole, so you can just use it as you want. I don't think this is a trendy belt. It's just for me a very versatile one that I take it with me pretty much everywhere when I travel. Can definitely recommend this one over any other Hermès belts out there. But if you want a more sensible recommendation, then Pollen for sure. Love their belts. I have plenty of them and I think they're amazing. Number 8 is luxury skincare. And I just want to start by saying that there's nothing wrong with luxury skincare. Like, it's not bad. I'm not saying that it's not worth it, because for some people definitely is, and for a while for me it was. Brands like La Mer, Dior, I've used them in the past and some of them really worked out for me and I love them. And yeah, they have a really hefty price tag, but for some people they are worth it because they smell good, they like the formula, their skin reacts very well to it. So I'm not saying that they're bad. However, I do have a lot of skin concerns. I specifically have rosacea, and since I moved here to Barcelona and I started to go to the dermatologist here a bit more regularly, I had to stop using basically all of those products, and now I have my pharmacist. So I've become very mindful about ingredients, and luxury skincare from fashion houses is not usually the best in that case. So basically the skincare that I use now, it's formulated specifically for my own issues and my skin concerns. Like, the dermatologist makes the recipe and then in my local pharmacy they just make it for me. So my skincare comes from a little white bottle made in the pharmacy that I have to keep refilling, and that's been working out the best for me, and what I would recommend to anyone that has skincare issues, to not really look online for the answers or luxury fashion houses. Not because something is more expensive means that the ingredients are better. Also, skincare works different for every single person, so always consult with your dermatologist and check the ingredients. Expensive doesn't equal quality unless the ingredients do match that. And I don't specialize in skincare or anything like that, but I just wanted to give like my personal recommendation in that sense. I feel bad about all of the Hermès things that I'm mentioning, but the Hermès Oran sandals and the Chypre too, that I still have the Chypre. I have them right here, I'll show you in a second. I've had the Oran sandals and at some point they were the thing. If you were in the fashion world and you liked luxury items, luxury bags, the Oran sandals in basically every color were a must-have, and I wanted them so bad. So the day that I finally got them, I was so excited and at the same time so disappointed because they were so uncomfortable but also so loud. At that point we were living in a house and I'm pretty sure the neighbors were very much aware every single time that I would go up the stairs or down how loud they were. Even outside on the streets, if you're walking, they were just uncomfortably loud and also not comfortable enough for me to justify the loudness. And someone that is very introverted, it was definitely a no for me. But I am very picky with my shoes. I do have to accept that. Probably a pair of shoes that are comfortable for most people, I'm going to complain about them. So I walk a lot. I cannot even stand heels. They were just not for me. So then I thought, I love Birkenstocks. I think then the Chypre are gonna be the perfect fit for me. And here are my Chypre sandals, unfortunately full of dust. I don't use them. I don't find them comfortable. I mean, they're not uncomfortable, they're just not comfortable. And if you walk for a really long time with them, they start to get uncomfy and they start to hurt, especially right here. So I honestly could not recommend either of them. I don't really own Birkenstocks anymore, but if anyone was in the fence of getting these ones, I think you're better off with Birkenstocks actually. And number 10, and this has been more of a realization that I've had this year, is designer jewelry. And I think I'm still gonna fall into this one, very likely, to be honest, but still I now can tell you that I don't think it's worth it. I've said it multiple times, but starting from the base, the fashion jewelry, the ones that are not fine jewelry, they're just gold plated, the pearls are not real, I'm talking about those CC earrings, the Dior necklaces. Every single time that I would get them, they would tarnish. They didn't have the best quality, and also they were full of logos, and they give you all these recommendations that you should not spray perfume, you should not do this, you should not do that, but at the same time, fine jewelry prices for this that are not really fine jewelry and they're so delicate and that they're not going to hold up well. So starting by those that I definitely think that are not worth the price, I'm gonna follow up with probably Van Cleef. The reason for that, and I'm saying that with a Cartier love bracelet here and a Van Cleef necklace that I love, and these ones I use them every single day, have not taken them off for a year. I wouldn't buy them again, honestly. I think if I had the money right now, I would rather go get something else fine jewelry wise, like fancy color diamonds, or go to my local jeweler and design something. I would get an aquamarine bracelet and not necessarily a Van Cleef necklace or another Cartier bracelet, because I know that the brand stands by it, but I don't get this thing thinking of reselling them. I get these things because I genuinely enjoy and love jewelry so much, and I want to try different things, and I want to have things that I can shower with them, use and stack and play around with, and I don't think that I need to go to these fashion houses anymore, and I can just find them somewhere else and just be a little bit more fun and get different things that are a little bit more unique or more my style. But with that being said, and that's the irony, I still always think that I want the Juke from Cartier. I want the Justin Clou bracelet and probably the ring too in the diamonds. I really like it, but do I think it's worth it? No. Would I recommend anyone getting it? Probably not, but yeah, I'm just being honest. I'll probably would get it if I'm celebrating something, but I don't think it's worth it. So this was the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Again, these are just my opinions. There are no facts. If you love your things, please keep enjoying them. I own and use still most of these things, so yeah, I'm just trying to give some alternatives. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you're not done watching, I'm gonna leave you two right here in case you want to check them out. Thank you and see you on the next one. Bye!